What's up, you guys? Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Matt Jablonski here with the Point of Change. I'm going to wait just a few minutes and let some people get here and hang out with me live. If you are not watching this live, drop me a hashtag replay and still hang out with me. Comment along, give me some reactions. I see the comments. I promise you, I will see it. As you guys come in, give me some likes. Give me some loves. Give me a share out in any addiction groups you may be a part of or onto your own page if you wish. That would be even better. Right on. I see the number jumping up right now. Got some people here. Right on, guys. Come on in. Come on in. Give me a good morning. Give me a recovery date. Let me know where you're watching from. Today we got an awesome topic for you. Resentment. This topic was chosen by the supporters over at patreon.com. So if you'd like to become a supporter of The Point of Change, go over to patreon.com/thepointoftchange and sign up to be a supporter today. Good morning, everybody. Colby, good morning. B. Clark, good morning. Joy Nagel, how are you? Good morning. Dana Paul, good to see ya. Ida McAvery, good morning. B. Clark, B. Clark tagging people. I love seeing that. I love seeing that. Sue Stock. Oh my God, Matt, it's bad. I'm sorry, Sue. If you want to message me on my page, go right over and hit that send message button and message me and we can talk about that. Brenda Hall, good morning. How are you? Good to see you here. Brian O'Brien, my brother. Thank you for being here. Patrice Wasp, good morning. Karen, good morning. Emma Guthrie, good morning, Maddie. Got the day off because it's raining. It's great because I get to be here with you. That is awesome, Emma. Thank you for joining me this morning. Guys, make sure you click that share button. Send me out into a few addiction groups. Tag anybody you think should be here. This is going to be a great topic. We're going to explore the ins and outs of resentment. We're going to talk about what is resentment? What is resentment? We're going to talk about how do you get rid of resentment? We're going to talk about what do you do if you can't forgive the person and get rid of this resentment. And then we're going to talk about what do you do when you've conquered your resentments? How do we do that? What do we do next? What do you do when you don't feel like you have any resentment or you can't think of anybody that you resent anymore? What's the next step? What do we do in our recovery, right? Sarah, good morning. B. Clark, what's up, brother? Good to see you here, brother. Thank you for joining me. If you guys missed last night's video with Diamond talking about the Recovery Ribbon event on August 1st in Merrill, Wisconsin at Inked Horizons Tattoo Shop, go check that out. We had an awesome time. A lot of laughs, a lot of fun, a lot of good information about what's going to be happening at the Recovery Ribbon event, rather. We had a few good friends of mine stop by. Higgy, thank you for stopping by. Corey Getska, thank you for showing up and showing out. Richie Weber, thank you for stopping by and jumping on with us. That was awesome. That was a good time hanging out with all those guys. Karen shared to 4 groups. Thank you, guys. Tammy Brooks shared out. Right on. I love that. Dana says, perfect topic. Right on. And thank you, Dana, for being a supporter. Guys, for you supporters, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central is our supporter meeting over in the closed group on Facebook. So if you guys aren't supporters yet and you want to take part in our weekly meetings, go over to patreon.com/thepointoftchange, get set up as a supporter, and then you can be in that group and you can come on to our weekly lives and decide topics and talk about recovery events and all kinds of stuff. Josh and Lori Mutimer, good morning. Hey, I challenged you guys this morning to the Life is Good challenge. So that's 10 days, posting a picture every day of why life is good. And you have to nominate a new person to do the same every single day. Josh and Lori. Lori here. Josh getting out of bed not to listen. He slept in. Right on. Wake up, Josh. Wake up, brother. Get up out of that bed. Colby, resentment is in a lot of areas in life. Yes, it is, brother. You can get resentment everywhere. This is not just a recovery topic. This is an everybody topic. Everybody suffers with resentment. So I want to talk about it a little bit. Let's see. Patrice says, that was a great live. It really was. It really was. Vicky, good morning. Delilah, good to see you here. Thank you for coming by. You guys are awesome. Stephen Defoe, good to have you here. Anybody else that I didn't welcome yet? Zach Held, good morning. How you doing, brother? Catherine, Gavin, Jennifer Taylor, good morning. Joy Nagel, good morning. Daphne, good morning. Christine Bender, thank you for being here. Guys, give me some likes, give me some loves, give me a share out into any addiction groups you may be a part of. Or onto your own page if you wish. Lori Waters, in counseling session about to start. I'll catch your replay. Right on, Lori. Come on by later and check out the replay on this one. And still, give me a share out into any addiction groups you may be a part of. Or onto your own page If you wish. Okay, I'm done. I'm done, guys. I'm sorry. I know my singing is terrible. I need singing lessons. So get over to patreon.com/thepointerchange and support The Point of Change so I can get some singing lessons. Then you guys won't have to listen to that crap anymore. Brett Lane, working but listening. Great topic today. Right on, Brett. Thank you for joining me this morning. Thank you for listening. Darren Bishop, good morning, brother. Good to have you here. All right, let's see. Today's topic is resentment. Sue sent me a message. Right on, Sue. Thank you. I will check it after this video. Colby doesn't like my singing. Oh, come on, guys. Come on. It's not that bad, is it? Give me a share of in any addiction groups you may be a part of. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I won't sing anymore. That is a lie. I will sing whenever I damn well please. All right, but today's topic is super serious. I gotta super serious topic time. Resentment. All right, I can't be serious. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry, guys. But seriously, we're talking about resentment. Okay, so resentment, as I found online, actually, most of the definitions were different, and some of them used words that I then had to look up the definition of those words. But it's a feeling of anger towards someone for being treated unfairly. How many of us felt this in our active addiction? Now, and how many of us caused this in our active addiction? Man, hurting everybody we were around and being hurt by so many people. Resentment is, honestly, if you ask me, it's one of the most degrading feelings in the human emotion, in the human body, honestly, because it's not only an emotion, this is a physical feeling at some point. It starts to erode every area of your life. Resentment building up inside of you is not only going to separate that void between you and the person you're feeling resentment towards, but resentment really starts to rot and erode other areas of your life and destroy other relationships around you, because it starts to break our trust. It starts to break our love. It starts to pull us away from that connection that we have gained in recovery. So letting go of resentment is very important for us in recovery and for us in life. Make sure we're working on ourselves every single day and working towards a better life. And in order to live a better life, you have to let go of a lot of those old emotions that we have built up from our old lives and the things we used to do. Now, some of the emotions that are associated with resentment are anger, judgment, fear, pride, jealousy, and envy. Now, there's more, but these are the ones that I came off to my mind, and some of the ones that I read online. And they're the ones that I thought were most important. And also, if you listen to that list again, anger, judgment, fear, pride, jealousy, and envy. Every one of those is things we're trying to eliminate in our lives in recovery, right? Every single one of those is a bad thing that we are trying to conquer and overcome in our recovery. Now, how do you get rid of that? How do you get rid of a resentment that you're holding on to? Especially sometimes in recovery, man, or sometimes in an active addiction, those resentments we have from people are pretty freaking strong. Some people were, doing horrible things to us in our lives. Maybe they sent you away to prison, through your recovery, you're going to learn things. Some of these things I list, we'll talk about it when I get there. But some of these things that we resent people for, like getting us in trouble and sending us to prison and, stealing our girlfriends and stealing our drugs and stealing things from us and taking our money and ripping us off, and we resent those people over that. Now, in recovery, we know that most of those things that I just mentioned are actually a blessing in disguise. Getting sent away to prison or to jail or to prison for wrongdoings is actually a blessing in disguise. It gives us a break from reality. It gives us a break from that life. It gives us a sign of punishment for things that we deserve to be punished for. You know what I mean? So those things in our recovery, we learned to thank people for those kind of things. Thank you for ripping me off on that bag of drugs, because if I had gotten that from you, I might be dead today. Thank you for taking my money, because if I had had that money, I would have just spent it on more dope. Thank you for putting me in jail and putting me in prison, because honestly, it helped me get better in my life, and I needed that wake-up call. So we learned to thank people for those things that we used to resent people for in our recovery. And I think that's a beautiful 180 to make in your life, when you realize that those toxic things that happened, or the things that we thought were toxic, were actually just. They were actually things that we deserved, and we probably should have gotten worse than we received. You know what I mean? Most of the time, we received a lesser punishment for the things that we had done than what we truly deserved. Think about your jail sentence or your prison sentence. If you had been caught for every single thing you ever did wrong. If every single one you ever done wrong had actually been on the books and you were going to go to prison for all of it, imagine how long you'd have to sit. You'd be in prison for the rest of your life, right? I know I would. I'd be gone. I would not be here right now if somebody decided to hit me with the full sentence of everything I ever did wrong in my active addiction. I would have got a lot worse than 97 days, brother, I can tell you that. And 3, 4, 5 years of probation. Oh yeah, that's a slap on the wrist compared to what I actually deserved after my active addiction. Now, how do we get rid of that resentment towards a person? Well, we just kind of named a little bit of it. Become thankful for the things, the ways that they wronged you. But the biggest part of that is to forgive those people that you resent. Forgive them for the wrongdoings that they did to you. Tell them, hey, you know what? I forgive you, man. Yeah, you did some wrong. Yeah, maybe we both wronged each other, but I forgive you, and then take that. And I guarantee, even that, it sounds kind of anticlimactic, but I have seen amazing healing take place just by someone saying, I forgive you. And I'm going to tell you a personal story on that in a little bit, but first I'm going to finish up talking about this. What if you can't forgive that person? Now here's a question that rocks everybody's brain. What if I can't forgive that person? What if the wrong they did wasn't me thinking, or wasn't something that now in my recovery I can look back and I can say thank you? What if it was something that actually destroyed my life and I can't forgive them for it? Maybe it was too bad. Or maybe the person that did this to you is still out, still using drugs. They're still screwing around. They're still hurting other people. They don't see the wrong in what they did. So how are you supposed to forgive somebody that still thinks that they were in the right in that situation and feels no remorse towards what they did to you? How do you forgive them? Well, I'll tell you the first step in it is to acknowledge your own part in that. Acknowledge your own part in the resentment, because you may not be able to forgive that person. You may not be able to forgive them for what they did to you. But one thing we learn in our recovery is how to forgive ourselves and how to let that pain go. So if you, instead of blaming them for it and saying they hurt me, they destroyed me, I resent them for what they did to me, instead turn that around. How are you at fault in this situation? Did you maybe bring this person into your life? Maybe you're the one who decided to start hanging out with that person. And when this person started wronging you, you didn't walk away. So you stayed there and took more of it. So honestly, you have your own part to play in this resentment. You brought them into your life, possibly even wronged them in the way that created the wrong that they did to you. Maybe you did something first, or maybe it was a back and forth between the both of you that caused this resentment, this pain, this fear, this anger, this jealousy, this envy that comes over you between this person. You have your own part to play in it too. So you have to acknowledge that, accept that, and then forgive yourself. And that can be a beautiful way to let go of a resentment right there. Now, what if you're free of resentments? What if you're listening to this video out there and you're like, this doesn't even pertain to me. I actually don't resent anybody. I've already forgiven everybody that did wrong to me. The only resentments that I face now are the ones that I currently build up, and since I'm in recovery, I work on them as I go, and I'm letting go of those resentments currently. It doesn't really affect me. Resentment isn't something that I'm working on in my life. Well, then you have a beautiful blessing. You have an amazing ability right now. If you have freed yourself from that judgment, if you have freed yourself from that fear, you freed yourself from resentments, you have an amazing, awesome ability, and you have a huge responsibility ahead of you. Because guess what your next step with resentment is? To help others stop their resentment towards you. Guess what we do? Guess how we do that? Guess how we do that? By making amends. Because as I told you, in order to get rid of a resentment that you can't forgive this person for, you cannot forgive that person. You have to now take this resentment on yourself and forgive yourself. You, as a person in recovery, as a person who is working on themselves, have an amazing ability that you are now accountable for your actions. You can now take credit for the wrongs that you have done in your life. So maybe you need to start working on those people that you have wronged, those people that are out there living with a resentment in their heart, and it's destroying their lives because they resent you for that time you did X, Y, and Z to them. So now it's time to make amends, guys. Now it's time to reach out to those people that we have wronged and free them from that burden. Break those chains of resentment for them. Let them live the life they were always meant to, because for years they've been holding on to resentment towards you for something that you did wrong, that you've acknowledged in your life now that you were wrong in the past. We've already acknowledged that. We've overcome that step. We're in recovery now. Now it's time to fix that pain. Now it's time to give that person that opportunity that maybe you don't have with others. You don't have the ability to forgive them. You can give someone else that release. And I want to tell you guys a story of me giving somebody that release. I could tell you many, but I want to tell you the one that has happened most recently and has actually been a very, very powerful experience for both of us. Okay, so in my active addiction, I told you guys this story before that I stole a shotgun from my meth dealer, and then I sold that shotgun, and then I turned around and used that money to buy more meth. That's one of my stories of my active addiction that was just terrible, right? That guy that I stole that shotgun from these days is in recovery. He was my meth dealer, and he's in recovery. Now, between me and him, we were pretty much nemesises. Is that a word? Nemesises? He was my nemesis. I was his nemesis. Me and this guy absolutely hated each other. He once had a hit out on me. He wanted to kill me. I stole from him. I destroyed things in his life. He, to me, stole one of my girlfriends, publicly shamed me and humiliated me, put me on Facebook and made up rumors about me and lied about me and spread rumors and talked crap about me and put a hit out on me and had me living in a life of fear and had me living in a life of jealousy. He used to sell me drugs. He used to screw me over on drugs. I mean, we both had so much animosity built up towards each other. I literally told myself, I will never forgive him for what he has done to me. And I'm sure he thought the same. I will never forgive Matt Jablonski for what he has done to me. And we both had this animosity towards each other. And for years, we didn't talk to each other. On occasion, he would pop up on my page or pop up on my Facebook and make a nasty comment or make a nasty thing or send me a nasty message and something and just, revive that old feeling of, ooh, that was terrible. You know what I mean? Now, fast forward to today. Fast forward to today in recovery. Not even today. Let's fast forward. Let's not go to today because I want to let you feel this healing that happened. Just a couple weeks ago, I got a comment on one of my videos. Hang on, I would like to, if you would give me just a second, I would like to pull it up so I can read word for word how this went down because it's pretty freaking awesome. Hang on, guys. Let me get you centered up here. There we go. All right, hang on just a second, guys. Let's see. Let's see, hang on just a second, guys. I'm so close here. I almost got it. Wow. Still trying to find the post. Hang on. He made a comment on one of my videos. There it is. Okay, hang on. A couple weeks ago, all of a sudden, I get a notification on Facebook that just hits me. Like I'm over at Caitlin's house hanging out with her, and all of a sudden I get a notification that this guy, I won't say names, but this guy commented on one of my videos. Not on my actual page, but on my personal profile. It was the video that I made of my interview with Chris Farley's brother, Tom Farley, when I had him on here. I shared that out to my personal profile. And all of a sudden I get a notification that this guy has commented on that video. And I'm like, oh no. Because every time he pops up, he has something nasty to say about me. And it gets in my head because, if you have a trigger in this world, triggers can really mess with you. And what I call a living trigger, which is a person that triggers you to think back to using and think back of those old emotions and bring those old emotions out of you. A living trigger is one of the most dangerous triggers because it's a person that you still haven't forgiven. It's a person that you still haven't accepted in your life. Maybe you haven't made the amends or you haven't let go of the resentment yet. And this person triggers those old emotions in you. And it's very dangerous because they can pop up out of nowhere. You can't control the actions of another person. So you never know when this person is going to find a way through, maybe talk to a friend of a friend, drop a message to you, somehow hit you up and somehow send you back into that mindset. So out of nowhere, I get a notification that he has commented on my video. And I go and look, and here it is. Hey, Matt, you should have someone who you and another name, stole tens of thousands of dollars in cash and property testify about your true nature. I'm not fooled. And instantly, I was like, first I got those old addict tendencies kicked up right away, man. They popped up and I was about to comment and just being like, stop living in the past. Screw you, bro. Get off of my page. Why, who do you think you are coming on here? I have changed, blah, blah, blah. And thought about just ripping into him, But then the recovery brain kicked in. The old recovery brain kicked in and said, you know what, Maddie? You did wrong this guy. In a lot of ways, you wronged him. And if I look at it now, the way I look at who I was back then, I was very manipulated by evil forces in this world. In other words, I was very much a demon. I had a demon inside of me. And this demon was pretty much running the show. Now, if you go bad, if you are another person and you start putting out bad vibes, the devil senses you're in the bad side and he senses that you're weak and he starts sending his demons after you. Well, back in the day, I was working for that guy. I was one of the demons. So if you started putting out bad vibes and started getting involved in a bad world and the devil wanted to send some demons after you, he sent this guy. All of a sudden, I was in your life, and I would start screwing stuff up. I would start manipulating, cheating, stealing, lying, doing the devil's work in your life. Now, this guy back in those days, he was doing that. He was coming into our world. He was coming into the meth world, and he was becoming an evil person too. And then he started to get weaker. The devil started to destroy his life, and he started to send all of his demons with this guy. And it ended up with every addict in a Tri-County area was staying at this guy's house. So he was surrounded by these demons. So finally, I took a break. I walked away from it. I said, all right, recovery brain, tell me, what do I do? What do I do? How do I comment to this? Now, I was a little jabby with my reply. My original reply, my first line in it, which was a lie. This first line in this reply is a lie. I'll tell you that right now. But the reason I lied is because I was trying to poke the bear. He was poking me. I was poking him back a little bit. My first line was, wow, I haven't thought about you in a long time. Now, I really have. I've been thinking about the guy all the time in my recovery. I think about this guy, the way I wronged him and the way he wronged me. I have held a huge resentment towards him through my recovery. So telling him, I haven't thought about you in a long time, I was just being a dick. I was trying to make him feel like he didn't matter to me, and here he has been wasting years thinking about me. I was trying to put that thought in his head because I'm kind of a dick sometimes. So that was bad. That was mean of me. Sorry, bro. But anyways, let's go on. Then I said, but in ways, you're right. I mean, it wasn't just me it wasn't just me and her, and you know it. Everyone was stealing from you, but I am sorry for it. But we both fucked each other over 1,000 times back then. I did about every bad thing I could, but that me is dead. For real. I don't know where you're at these days. Honestly, I hope you're doing better. And he replied and said, I never did shit to you, Matt. I went to jail. You came into my house. You stole all my guns. You stole everything that wasn't tied down. You did. You both did together. I tried making you my friend after she was finally out of the picture. And what did you do? I have 4 years clean October 10th. Now, when he says, what did you do? I befriended him. Okay, we had he stole my girlfriend from me and there was a weird love triangle. She was seeing both of us for a long time there. It was messed up. It was really messed up, okay? It's an active addiction story. We're talking toxicity on a huge level, okay? So bad things were happening all around. Nobody was right in this situation. But when she finally got out of the picture, we both broke up with her. She was gone. Me and him started hanging out. But I was totally just in my addiction and I was manipulative and I was terrible. So I didn't befriend him. I just started hanging around him so I could steal from him and lie to him and steal his drugs and steal his belongings because he had a lot of good stuff. So I wasn't being a friend at all. And that's what he's talking about there. When she was finally out of the picture, what did you do? Yeah, I turned into a shithead is what I did. I manipulated him into liking me so I could be around his house. It says, I have 4 years clean October 10th. I have a wife who is the mother of my son that I didn't even know about. We bought a house in Menominee Falls and I'm almost done with all of my jail time. I owe the state 22 days in September from my October 10th, 2016 arrest. You may remember that one because you're in my paperwork on it. Now in that comment, I don't know, you guys may have heard the same thing that I heard when I got it, and that is that he's opening up. Yes, he's a little angry with me still, but he's opening up. I got that message and I was like, what's happening here? What is this? Like, yes, he's still being angry, but he's telling me how I've wronged him. He's opening up. He's expressing himself a little bit. And I kind of had a moment where I just, okay, God, what are you trying to do here? What are you trying to do, God? And then I got another message, or another comment. He says, oh, by the way, I caught a year for my case. I served 60 days in and 30 days out, so it's taken me almost 2 years to complete my sentence. I still owe 22 days. While I was doing my last set, I was working as a trustee, and guess who I was being transferred back to Marathon County? Blah, 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 blah. That's somebody else's business that we don't need to talk about on here. So in other words, he started, now in this comment, he started relating to me a little bit. Started talking about, you know, somebody that we knew, a mutual, you know who it was. Somebody who we were both diddling back in the day. But yeah, these two comments together, I was kind of like, what is happening right now? What is going on? So I replied back. I said, yeah, I guess I kind of held a grudge over you moving in on her when she was my girl. Should have just let her walk away, but I thought I was in love. But for real, the only gun I stole from you was the shotgun and a few of your helicopters. And I helped her pawn your bows and laptops and chainsaws. So I mean, yeah, I was a piece of shit. Any kind of upper and my fingers got all kinds of sticky. I stole from my own family most of the time. I pawned my dad's Zippo collection, his pistol. I stole his vehicles every chance I could get. But you're right for the most part, dude. I was such a shit. I don't blame you for putting it all on me, because there was a hatred between us. But while we were cool. I'm glad you're doing better. Keep it up, man. Awesome to hear you're clean. That shit has taken the whole Northwoods down. Now, through this whole conversation, I'm on the edge of my seat. Through this whole conversation with this guy, I'm like, what is happening here? What is going on? Now he says, I work the program and some steps are harder than others. I make amends where I can, but forgiveness, it's a hard one for me, brother. Especially when the restitution that I was supposed to get back took 3 years in receiving and was 1/100th of the fraction of what I lost. And it wasn't everybody stealing from me, buddy. It was you and her. But since then, we'll cover that. Since then, he's acknowledged that it wasn't just me. I'm willing to bet there's a hell of a lot of my property still at your dad's house. You want to make amends, get me my shit back. Now, he said that not knowing that my dad's dead and that my dad's house belongs to someone else. And that was when I realized that, yeah, he really didn't know anything that's happened to me in my recovery. But then after that one, I got that one and I thought, okay, he says you want to make amends, get my shit back. And that's when I stepped away. I was like, okay, you know what? I don't want to make amends, I thought, I don't really want to make amends, so I don't want to get you your shit back. I can't, even if I wanted to. My dad's dead. Anything of his that was at my house, at my dad's house, is gone, because everything was gone. It's all been given away, taken by the kids that wanted anything, and then thrown in the dumpster. So my dad's house is sold, you know. So I can't get him his shit back. So I kind of just stopped. I walked away. I was like, well, I guess I'm not fixing this one, you know, and I took a minute and I prayed some more. And actually at that point was when I messaged Drew Hicks. And I messaged him and I said, brother, I need to talk to you. Because I wanted to know, I wanted somebody else's input on this, you know. And then me just taking that break, talking to God, reaching out to my support system, doing what I'm supposed to do on my end. And then I get another comment. And he says, I just posted this on my Facebook page. And I'm like, oh no. Because this guy used to post nasty shit about me on his Facebook page. So when I seen that first line, I just posted this on my Facebook page, I was like, oh no. What did he do? Here's what he posted on his timeline. I was the victim of a lot of crimes while I was in jail up north. I lost tens of thousands of dollars in property. The police refused to do anything about it, and the district attorney refused to press charges because of who I was. They said I deserved it. I just saw one of the perpetrators of crimes against me is now a motivational speaker for the Point of Change. His name is Matt Jablonski. We all know my anger. We all know my lust for vengeance and how it's eating at me for years. The 12 Steps teaches us acceptance. It teaches us to let go of the past and the anger and the baggage that we bring into sobriety. Maddie, I'm glad you turned your life around. I'm still angry about the shit you took, but I'm glad you got away from the drugs. I'm glad you got your life together, and more than anything, I'm glad that you're helping others Congratulations, Maddie, for my own selfish reasons, for my own sanity and my sobriety, I forgive you. Yeah. While I was waiting for a reply from Drew Hicks on that one yet. I was still waiting for Drew to get back to me. No, the only person I'd talked to about this yet was God. And I had asked God, and then so many times through this, I said, God, I don't know what you want me to do here. I don't know how I'm going to fix this one, God. I don't know what you're trying to do. What do you want from me? How am I supposed to fix this? I don't think this is going to happen. But I'll tell you right now, with recovery, through recovery, all things are possible. Things that you never thought you'd see happen. Things that you never thought you'd see. Growth out of people that you never expected happens in recovery, just by doing what you're supposed to do on your end. Just keep working your program, keep doing what you're doing, keep pushing recovery, keep pushing for another day in this world. And I'm telling you, these doors open up. Since these conversations happened, me and him have actually connected quite a bit on Facebook. We've been messaging with each other. I actually called him the other day because he made a post on Facebook, because we're now friends on Facebook. He made a post that he's recently undergone a complete hip transplant. His hips have been replaced. What am I trying to... I'm sorry, I'm stuttering, but his hips have been replaced recently. And he's laid up in a bed, and he's on they got him doped up on a bunch of painkillers, and he made a post that he's really hurting. He tagged me to it even, and said that he's really hurting, really struggling. He can feel the withdrawals kicking in. He knows he doesn't want to go back down that road, but he can feel that he's starting to withdraw from the pain medication that they gave him at the frickin' hospital and sent him home with. But I mean, you get your hips replaced. I mean, they literally opened up his entire torso and pulled, and shoved metal down into his bones and then rebuilt him, put him back together. So I mean, I don't know what mortal man would go through that without pain medication, but now he's off of that pain medication. He's back to just Tylenol and ibuprofen and a little bit of tramadol that they gave him to wean down. And he was really struggling, and he posted that he was feeling the withdrawals kicking in, and them old feelings were coming back, and he was scared. So I reached out to him, and I actually called this guy, and we had such an amazing, healing conversation. We were laughing together about the old times, like not like laughing like, haha, that was good. I mean, literally, he was like, it's a good thing I got as bad as I did, and it's a good thing I went to jail, because I never would have got clean, and if that wouldn't have happened, I'd probably be dead, or I would have killed somebody. And I said, yeah, probably me. And we both just started cracking up laughing. And he was like, yeah, you're right. It probably would have been you. And his wife is in the background, and she says, I never thought I would hear you two laughing on the phone together. And I was like, that's recovery, baby. That's recovery right there. And before we hung up, I told him, hey man, you're kind of living close to me. If you need anything right now, if you're struggling at all, you need something moved around your house, whatever. I said, I'm not that far away. I don't have a full-time job right now. Get a hold of me. I can come over and give you a hand. And he was like, yeah, I would love that. And his wife yells in the background, he's gonna take you up on it. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm more than happy to come help you, brother. So I'm telling you guys, letting go of these resentments is huge. And let me back up just one page here, because he did make another post from me the other day. Let's see. Of course, the next day he posted, is it weird that I want to make my old nemesis my friend? And I commented and said, there's nothing weird about that, brother. Let's see. Let me go back up here. I want to show you guys, where was it? Well, I guess. Oh, here it is. After the amends has been made, after the resentment has been let loose, after we've now made friends out of each other, and he posts on Facebook, it's crazy. I feel a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I honestly never thought I would say these words. Thank you, Maddie Jablonski. Holy crap, dude. Like, the blessings of recovery do not stop. And I am so happy, so honored, so grateful, so amazed, and so blown away by the fact that I was able to give him that release. So if you guys are out there, if you're struggling with resentments, get that forgiveness. Give that forgiveness. Give that forgiveness to that person. Let go of that resentment. Let it go. And if there's someone out there who's resenting you, work on it. Make those amends. Reach out. Repair that damage, because I'm telling you, if it's possible to repair that damage, take advantage of that, because there's so many people out there who are stuck with a resentment that they cannot give that person forgiveness. Maybe that person's dead. Maybe that person's still actively using. We in recovery have an amazing chance, an amazing responsibility, not only to free ourselves of resentment, but to free other people from living that life of resentment, from letting that emotion degrade their entire lives and destroy every relationship they ever try to have. We as recovering addicts have a huge weight on our shoulders. We have a huge responsibility to repair the damage, not only that we have done to ourselves, but that we have done to those around us, to our family, to our friends, and to our enemies. It's important that we fix these gaps. It's important that we find connection again, because when we are connected as humans, we can do amazing things. But we are never going to be fully connected if we don't all start waking up, if we don't all start fixing the damage that we have caused to ourselves and others. This world's just going to keep degrading. This world's just going to keep going downwards. We have to start fixing those problems. We have to start working together. We have to regain that connection that we have, that we lost. So reach out. Make those amends. Let go of that hurt. Let go of that struggle. We don't have to live that way anymore. Let it go. Move on with your life. And I'm telling you, this life is possible. This life of recovery is possible. Those people that you never thought you'd forgive, those people that you thought would never forgive you, they will. In God's time, not ours. And this is one of those cases where in God's time was sooner than I was ready for it to happen. I was not ready for this amends to happen. I was not ready for this forgiveness. I was not ready to give forgiveness. I was not ready to receive forgiveness. I was not ready to repair this damage. But God stepped in and said, it's time. It's time to make that amends. It's time to right this wrong. It's time to fix this. It's time to let go of those chains of resentment for yourself, and it's time to let him let go of resenting you. And I took that opportunity. So when those opportunities arise, it's important that when we say we're going with the flow in recovery, we're just kind of going with the flow. If you're going with the flow, that's great, but it's important that you don't start fighting the flow, because the flow takes you to a place that you don't want to go. So all of a sudden you start not going with the flow because the flow brought you somewhere and you're like, no, I'm not ready. I don't want to do that yet. And you start backpedaling. Don't do that. If the flow takes you to the next level, then it's time to go to the next level. That's the way to go. Let God lead you through this world. Let life take you where it needs to take you, and do not be resistant. Do not push back when life tries to take you somewhere. Take those opportunities. Seize the day, guys. Seize the day. We are alive. We are upright and breathing. We are taking air. It is important. It is our responsibility to live a better life. I am so happy to be in recovery. So happy to be alive. So happy to be the person I am today. So happy to have been where I am today, that when he reached out to me, that when he made that comment, if he had made that comment 6 months ago, a year ago, something like that, I would still be at a point in my recovery where I would have told him off. I would have got angry. I would have said something mean back. But instead, I acknowledged my own workings in his life. I acknowledged that I was a demon in his world, and I let him have that release. I let him let go of that resentment. And it has given him so much more peace in his life to not hold that anger towards me. And it's given me peace in my life, knowing that I'm not hated out there, and not hating on him, and not worried about the next time that he's going to comment on one of my videos. Not worried about the next time that he's going to pop up and trigger me. I don't have to worry about that struggle anymore, because recovery has taken that struggle away from me. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And it comes every single day in recovery, leads you a little closer to living a serene life. Telling you this serenity, this peace, this awesome life that I have found in recovery, it does not come easy, but it comes simply. So just start working. Just start working. Make those amends. Fix that damage. And this can be a beautiful life. All right, I'm going to check some comments. I'm going to hang out with you guys for just a little while longer. See what you guys had to say about this topic. If there's anything you guys want to say to me now, go ahead and drop it in the comments, and I will be right back down, and I will catch up with you guys in just a minute. All right, going way up. I'm going to go, there, we're way up at the top. All right, Pam, I'm late. I didn't realize what time it was. That's okay, Pam, no problem. Thank you for being here. You can always catch the replay. Patrice Wasp, need to look inside deeper. They are there. B. Clark, throwing up them emojis. I love that. Thank you, brother. B. Clark, daily and instant amends. Right on, working on it. My mama, hi mama, I'm late getting things in place. Right on, mama, good to hear, good to hear. I'm going to be speaking up north. My mom's got me set up with a speaking engagement up there pretty soon, so I'm going to be up there actually the day after the Recovery Ribbon event. After the Recovery Ribbon event in Merrill, Wisconsin, I'm going up north even farther, and I'm going to speak again the next day. Christy, oh Matt, I just popped in and I just heard what you said. I've been trying to work on that step for over 3 years. It hit me in the heart. Thank you. Right on, Christy. Right on. Work on it. Christy says, thank you. I needed this. Wait, we got 2 Christys here? Yes. The first one was Christy Gunther. Second one was Christy Springfield. Right on. Pam Valesner. Everyone, I need to make amends to our dead. So I worked them out in my steps. Right on, Pam. And that's what I was saying there. Like, guys, that we are upright and taking air. We are still alive. We have a huge responsibility to let people earn that amends with us, to let people let go of that resentment with us, because since we're upright and taking air, we have the ability, we have the ability to let them do it. You know, since you have the ability to let them make that amends, how are you going to respond to your ability to let them make that amends? That's, if you guys didn't know what I'm trying to say there, responsibility is it's a two-part word. It's a two-part word. It is your response to your ability to do something. So if you have the ability to let somebody make that amends, if you have the ability to make that amends with yourself, then how are you going to respond to your ability to make that amends? Which means that making those amends becomes your responsibility. Oh, I love it. I love that. I love that analogy. JD Jericho, we do recover. Damn right we do, brother. Patrice Wasp causes a lot of tension. It sure does. And honestly, holding on to resentment can cause depression. It can cause anxiety. And these mental illnesses, when we let them fester in our lives, don't just hurt our mental state. They start to hurt your physical being. They can actually cause, what was it? I was just looking up some stuff before I went live. Arthritis and stiffness of the joints and bone pain and horrible problems inside of you that can be caused because you're holding tension in that depression and that anxiety. Christine Springfield, what if the person that you wronged has passed away before you can do this? The person you have wronged has passed away, then the best way to do it is to go to to pray, to write it out in a letter, to send that letter to God, to pray to them, to talk to their gravestone. And that's why I'm saying, as people who are alive, it is so hard. It is our responsibility to let people make amends with us and to make amends with others, because we're still here and we have that beautiful ability to give them that release of a living amends. A living amends is the most beautiful, relieving experience of your life. And you, as a recovering addict, have the ability to give people that release. That is a beautiful thing. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of the fact that you're still here and you can let people make that amends with you, because once they've passed, those amends have to be made after the fact. Those amends have to be made with their family or with their family members or with somebody or with God, and with, praying and talking to the sky. And I'm telling you, that's a beautiful way to make amends, and it will give you a lot of closure, but it doesn't quite feel the same. It doesn't quite feel the same as a living amends. Lynn Latour, good morning. How are you? All right, Brian O'Brien has a good tip there. Then you write a short letter saying everything you would say if you were in person. Then you read the letter with someone, your sponsor, and after that you can either burn the letter or put it in an envelope with no return address and address it to God. Yes, those are beautiful ways. Journaling and writing letters is actually a beautiful way a beautiful therapeutic tool. So make sure you guys are journaling. If you don't have a journal, get yourself a journal. If you don't write letters, try writing letters. If you don't want to do any of that, maybe start making posts, type it out, write it out, whatever you want to do. Woo, everybody loved that story. Good. I am so happy with it. I mean, honestly, it has given me so much more freedom in my recovery. I've made so many amends in recovery, and every single one is so freeing, and it's such a beautiful experience. Not only because it lets me let go, and it helps me, and it lets them forgive me, But then in that process of me receiving forgiveness from others and earning their trust back and talking to them and letting them know and holding myself accountable and admitting what I had done and then receiving forgiveness, by doing those, I'm doing things that a good person would do. So I'm building up credibility within myself that I can do these things. I'm telling myself that I am a good person, because every time we did something bad, we proved to ourselves that we were a bad person. So now in recovery, if you want to start giving over that, if you want to start earning forgiveness within yourself, because so many of us have a hard time forgiving ourselves for the things that we've done wrong. If you would like to start forgiving yourself, start making amends and getting forgiveness from other people. You have no idea how freeing it is to admit to somebody what you did to them, tell them you are sorry, and then have them say, "It's okay, man. I forgive you. I love the path that you're on these days. Please just keep pushing. Just keep doing what you're doing. I'm glad to see you're doing better." Having them say that to you makes you forgive yourself in a sense, because someone else saw you and thought it was worthy of you to receive that forgiveness. So that validates it within yourself that, okay, it's okay for me to let this go. You know, and you just seen yourself, you just witnessed yourself making the amends for it and giving them forgiveness or receiving forgiveness. And now you're going to be like, I can finally forgive myself for that because they're okay with it now. You know, I made the situation better. Oh, Donna Coleman says, that's absolutely beautiful, bro. Thank you. Thank you. B. Clark, beautiful story, bro. Absolutely moving. Right on. I'm glad you guys got moved by it. I really am. Jennifer Lynn Brown, I let go of a lot of my past, from being abused by my dad, from my children being molested by someone we trusted, from all the lies I told. Good. Let it go. Let it go. Break those chains. I almost started singing there, guys. I almost did, and we are at a serious point in the video. I could not be up here singing Frozen. Let it go. Let it go. Okay, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm not letting it take over. No more. No more. Patrice, we heal better when we let go of resentments. Let it go. Let it go. Stop it. Stop it, you guys. You see what you're doing to me? Do you see what you're doing? Jennifer Lynn Brown. I have a lot of regret from doing meth and losing temporary custody of my children, but now I'm close to getting them back. Right on, Jennifer. Guys, throw up all kinds of hearts for Jennifer. I'm working towards it, working towards getting your children back. That is a beautiful blessing of recovery, even just to have them consider giving your children back. What a beautiful blessing of recovery, because if you were not in recovery, there's no way they would even consider that idea. They would never even consider it. They wouldn't even take it into their minds. You know what I mean? And the fact that you are in recovery gains you so much awesomeness in this world. It really does. I'm telling you guys, like, the fact that I came into recovery, the fact that I changed my life, the fact that I moved 4.5 hours away and started working on myself and started doing awesome things, I'm getting a message from the guy that this video is about right now, and I'll let me see what it says, because I just messaged him this morning and checked on him. Oh, nice. He says he's feeling a lot better, because he's been in misery through these withdrawals and through this pain from his hip replacement surgery. He's been in a lot of pain. So I actually messaged him when I first woke up this morning, because I was thinking about him, because I was going to make this video today. So I messaged him and asked him how it's going, and he just messaged me and said he's feeling a lot better. That's awesome. That is good to hear. I'll message him back as soon as I'm done with this video. Patrice says, do it! Lisa, I'm working on this with my ex-husband right now. I'm so worried about him. He has all the symptoms of corona and is getting tested right now. I need to let go of resentments I hold against him and be there for him. Well, just don't put yourself in danger of getting coronavirus yourself. But I'll be praying for the test results to come back negative, dear, and I definitely feel for you on that one. Oh, Heidi Childress, good to see you here. Brenda Hall, such an amazing life story. Thank you, Maddie. You're welcome, Brenda. Thank you for being here. Oh, let's see. It's amazing. I love waking up every morning without depending on something. Isn't that a beautiful feeling? Isn't that a beautiful feeling? I don't need nothing but to get out of this bed. I don't need nothing but the air in my lungs and these hands on my arms and my feet and my legs. And even if I didn't have those, I don't need those, as long as I have air and I can just be alive. Be alive. Johnny Childress, Bro-tato. What's up, my broder cycle? Teddy Roosevelt. Let me think of another one. What's another one? Torn Brotator cuff. All right, that one was a stretch. That one was a stretch, but I got it. I pulled it off. Emma, perfect topic. This really hit home for me. Put things in real perspective for me. I've been working on this step for a long time, and it's been struggling with it. But you just brought a whole new light to this for me. Thank you. You are welcome, Emma. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting me. That is awesome. I love seeing that. When I get those notifications that someone signed up as a supporter, I'm like, yes, yes, that is awesome. Thank you guys, because that lets me know that you guys appreciate what I'm doing up here. You know what I mean? Brenda Hall, my high is now meditation and spending time in talk with God. So much power and love with God. Definitely, Brenda. I agree 100%. I actually went for a walk to my church prayer garden this morning and said a few prayers, and it was beautiful. I mean, I pray every morning, but this morning I was like, I need that extra oomph. I get better signal. I get better reception when I go to the prayer garden. Melissa Purdue, I hold more resentments towards myself. I've allowed myself to be put in bad situations to get hurt. I couldn't quit while pregnant for the longest time. I did finally, and thanks to God, he came out perfect. Beautiful, Melissa. Beautiful. Congratulations on the baby. Congratulations on your recovery. Holding those resentments towards yourself, as I was just saying a little bit ago, if you want to let go of that resentment towards yourself, the best way to go about it is to get with God. Get it with God, and he will let you free of that burden. But also by earning forgiveness from other people. By receiving forgiveness from others, we will begin to forgive ourselves. That was actually the very first question I asked in recovery. In my 97 days in that jail cell up north, I started attending NA meetings every week. They had a weekly NA meeting, and I told myself it was just to get out of the cell, because I was still very much an active addict in my mind at that time. And I was just telling myself, you know what, at least it's an hour out of the cell once a week. I can get out of here and I can go sit in a room and we talk about drugs and stuff. I'm fine with that. I'm going to start attending these meetings, you know, and I did. And I didn't know that just by going to those meetings, they was going to plant some seeds in my head. They got in my head, you guys. They got in my head. But yeah, right as soon as I got there, I was just going to audit. I figured I'm just going to come in here, I'm going to sit at this table, and I'm going to listen to this guy, and then it'll give me an hour out of the cell. It'll be fine. And I got in there, and he kind of started talking. There was a couple guys in the cell that had been going to these NA meetings already. So when we walked in there together, they were like, "Hey, Charlie, how you doing?" And shook hands with him. And he come in, and they're like, "We brought Matt with us." And I was like, "Hey, Charlie, how you doing?" And he's like, "Matt, good to meet you, man. Thank you for coming by. I hope you keep coming, man. This is a great thing. Come on in. Have a seat. Let's talk. You know, so where are you from? What's going on? You know." And I kind of told him I was so half open. You guys remember that when you would first start talking about your addiction and you weren't very open about it? Now I'm open and I just talk to anybody about it. I'll just be like, "Hey, I used to put meth in my butt." Like, I'm super too much open about it these days. But back then I was still so guilty and still so shameful about it that when people asked me what I'd been doing or what was going on or what I'd been using, it was always a big lie. It was always a lie fest because of that defensive nature we get stuck in our active addiction. If you tell someone what you're really doing, they'll judge you, or they'll put you in jail, or they'll take your kids away, or they'll do something bad. So we learned to live in a defensive nature and just lie. It just came second nature to us. I have to lie to protect what's mine. So we lie. So when you first come into recovery and you first start trying to open up to somebody, that can be such a process of learning to trust them enough to actually open up. You know, you don't just walk into the meeting the first day and go, "Hi, my name's Matt Jablonski. I put meth in my butt." You know what I mean? Like, so when he asked me what I'd been up to, it was kind of like, "Oh, I don't know, you know, I dabble in drugs, you know, I don't do it every day or nothing." When in reality, I was doing it every day. I had smoked my teeth out of my head. Here I'm sitting in his class with frickin' meth mouth, skin and bones, telling him that I don't do meth every day. Like, what a liar. I was lying through my tooth, man. I was lying through my tooth. But anyways, after sitting there and auditing for a little while and feeling all welcome and feeling like him, he started talking, and he started telling this story about how he stole a car and he was drugged out of his mind, was on all kinds of pills and all kinds of drugs and was drunk out of his mind, stole a car and crashed it off a side of a ravine, you know, it went off into the trees. And he's telling this story. And, you know, and then after telling the story, we're all kind of laughing about it, you know, haha, because we're still in our active addict mindsets, so that kind of stuff was still cool to us, you know. It wasn't a story of degradation for us. It was kind of like, haha, that's cool, man. You crashed a Camaro? Awesome, you know. And he gets done telling that story, and then he starts talking about the rooms and starts talking about how he's been following the 12 steps and how his sponsor was the same way he is, and how they, you know, himself had like 13 years clean and stuff. And I'm like, wow. This guy did all those drugs, was possibly even, in my mind, I was like, he's worse than I am. I don't like to compare addictions. I don't like to think that one addiction is worse than another anymore. But in that moment, you know, I was kind of like, oh, wow, here's a guy who was worse than me, and he got better. Maybe I could get better too. And that really opened my thoughts, because before that, everybody I'd seen try to get clean failed. They went out, they went to recovery, tried it for a little while, and before too long, I was smoking meth with them again. Everybody failed when they tried to quit. So I had just learned through experience that nobody gets away from this stuff. Nobody makes it out, you know? And even people that told me that they made it out and then said that they were doing good, I didn't believe them. I just figured, no, you're bullshit. You must still do it once in a while. You're just telling everybody that you don't, but you must still do it. Because I was such a liar that I figured everybody else was lying too, you know? But then after getting a little more used to it, after hearing him tell these stories and relating to him a little bit and starting to get the thought that maybe I could recover, maybe I could. So I opened up and I asked a question. And my first question I ever asked in recovery was, how do you forgive yourself for all the bad shit you've done? Because I look at this guy and he's happy. He's thankful for his life. He doesn't look like he hates himself. He doesn't look like he has a bunch of resentment tied up in his heart. He doesn't look like he just... Because that's what I always figured, was if I got away from the drugs, I would just hate myself. Because when I wasn't high, I hated myself. So I just assumed I was always going to hate myself if I put the drugs down. I figured I would always have what I used to call the itch you could never scratch. I figured for the rest of my life, every single day for the rest of my life, I was going to be craving methamphetamine and not be able to do it. And I was just going to every day, because I knew what it felt like to do that for one day. If I would stay one day without doing meth, I just hated myself all day long, and the anxiety and the depression and the everything, the urges, the cravings, all of it, the sweats, the just terribleness that you feel the day after. I assumed that that lasted forever. I assumed that I would just feel that way forever. Now, this is the new me. When I'm not on drugs, this is how I am. I'm depressed. I hate myself. I'm angry. I fire off at the mouth. So I have to do drugs, because if I don't, this is how I act. It's not true at all. It's not true at all. Your drugs and your addiction manipulate you into feeling like that withdrawal you is your new normal. Like, oh, without the drugs, this is how I am. But no, once you get through that withdrawal and get through pause, life gets so much better. This day and age, you fast forward to now, I have so much going on in my life today that there's no way I could focus on just, you know, on that itch you could never scratch. The itch I could never scratch is the last thing on my mind. The last thought on my mind is that itch I could never scratch. And I was so worried about it. I built up this itch I could never scratch into this unconquerable monster that was going to be following me for the rest of my life. And every day for the rest of my life, I was going to feel like shit. And I was never going to be able to get high again. And I was just going to crave and crave and crave and crave. But honestly, shit, you look at today, doing meth is the last thing I want to think about today. I got so much to do today. you know, like, I don't know why I was so worried about that. And I put so much faith into that itch I would never be able to scratch. All right, guys, I'm going to come way back down here so I can catch up on these comments and check out what you guys have been saying here. Brenda Hall, my daughter is caught in addiction, lies to me all the time, but I never let her off the hook. I tell her when she is high I see her out and about. When she is high, I see her out and about. She's like a little kid. She thinks I know everything, but I always let her know what I know her life. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry, dear. Hang on. Let me try this again. I was getting so lost in this. My daughter is caught in active addiction, lies to me all the time, but I never let her off the hook. Well, that's good. That's good right there. You don't let her off the hook. Don't enable. Don't enable. I tell her when she's high, I see her out and about. Oh, when you see her out and about. Okay, well, if you're calling her out, that's good. That's good. Unfortunately, that's fine. She's like a little kid. She thinks I know everything. Do you mean she thinks she knows everything? I'm confused by that. Those last couple lines there, I'm really confused by, Brenda. She's like a little kid. She thinks I know everything, but I always Let her know that I know her life. Okay, I got that now. You do. So she thinks you don't know anything, I'm guessing. She thinks she's smarter than everybody, or at least doesn't think she's smarter than everybody, but she just thinks everybody else is dumb and they're not going to catch on, they're not going to see the signs. That is every addict's story right there. All of us thought we were so much smarter than everybody else, and people just, they don't know about drugs, so they won't know that I'm on them because they've never done drugs. We all thought non-addicts were so naive, didn't we? I used to think that non-addicts were so naive and they didn't know anything about the world. Like, you're not going to be able to tell I'm high because you don't know anything about drugs. So how would you be able to tell I'm high when all of my teeth are rotten, my eyes are sunk in my head, I weigh 100 pounds, I'm sitting over here twitching and tweaking and twerking, and I'm going to sit there and say, they'll never know because they don't know what drugs do to you, so they won't know that I'm on drugs right now. What an idiot. What an idiot I was. Well, I'm glad, Brenda, that you're not, taking her crap, that you're not falling for her lies, that you're not falling for the manipulation. Just make sure you're not enabling, but also make sure you're being supportive. A lot of people think it's tough love. We got to do tough love. Yeah, we do got to do tough love, but don't forget the love aspect of tough love. So many people want to be tough love, and they just end up being tough and being mean. We want to make sure that, yes, you don't want to, you got to call them out on their bullshit. You can't let them lie to you. But at the same time, we can't just be bashing on them so bad that they feel so full of hate and remorse, shame and guilt. And those are terrible emotions. And yes, there's something that's in an active addiction, but we don't want to make them feel like that we don't love them because of it. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody to feel like, to push them away to the point where they feel like that you hate them. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense to you. Let's see. Going back down. Joe Amy got this. All you can do, Brenda, is not condone and support. You might know, but until she's ready, you can tell her you know her life all you want, but until she gets to that point, all you can do is support her. Yes. You can tell her you know and you got it and you see through her crap and all that. But to a point, you got to remember, you don't love the addict. You love the person and the addiction. What am I trying to say here, guys? We love the addict, not the addiction. Is that what I'm trying to say? Love the child, not the addict. I don't know the word I'm trying to look for, but your child is still in there. Your daughter's still in there. The addiction is just kind of running the show sometimes, and that really sucks. Let's see, Dana. How do you be supportive and not enable? How do you be supportive and not enable? Well, enabling is giving money. Enabling is ignoring the signs, ignoring the lies, ignoring your better judgment on a situation and giving them something anyway. Bailing them out of jail is enabling. Putting money on their books while they're enabling, or while they're in jail, is enabling. Letting them live at your house while they are in an active addiction and obviously using. I'm not saying that they're admitting that they're using. I'm saying they are obviously using. You can tell they are using and you're still putting a roof over their head. In other words, how to stop enabling is don't do anything that allows them to do drugs comfortably. Don't give them a place to come do their drugs. Don't give them money to go get more drugs. Don't bail them out of jail because that's a way of getting them out of their punishment. And that's just another way of showing them that whatever I do wrong, somebody's going to bail me out of here. I don't have to face consequences for my actions. And then they just go back out and get high again because they know that the next time they get caught, they can just tug at your heartstrings and get bailed out. So who cares? I'll just go back to jail then. All of those are excellent ways to stop enabling. Also, make sure you're locking up your medications. And a big one, this is the big parable, if you will, that I like to tell people with addiction, is think of an active addiction like a bleeding wound. If your loved one shows up at your house with a giant gash down their arm, blood gushing out of their arm, possibly the bone sticking out, and they walk up to your door and they say, "Hey, can I come in? I need to come in. I need a place to stay." What are you going to do? Are you going to let them come in with this giant bleeding wound and sit on your couch and ruin your couch and destroy your carpet and then go sleep in their bed and destroy the bed and just bleeding all night long and possibly get an infection and possibly die in your home? No, you wouldn't allow them to do that. You would say, "Whoa, we got to go to the hospital right now and get you bandaged up. We got to get you bandaged up. And then you can come back here and stay here and I'll take care of you and aid you, but not until you see a medical professional first. Same situation with an active addiction. Your loved one shows up at your house, obviously an active addict. The first step you should take is to get them professional help. Take them to rehab, take them to detox. At least tell them that right away. Whoa, you ain't coming in here like this. You're going to go see some medical professionals first, and then you can come back here to recover. You're not going to allow them in your home because that bleeding wound that I was just talking about that's ruining your couch and ruining your floor and ruining your house and ruining the bed and then eventually turns into an infection and kills them is the same thing that happens with an active addiction. They come into your home, they steal your property, they destroy everything they touch, they're walking around messed up on drugs, knocking stuff over, breaking stuff, ruining the inside of your house. Then they end up getting an infection or getting an injection and dying in your home. These are the things that happen. These are the serious consequences that come with an active addict. So we have to make sure we are not enabling. And by not enabling, by taking away their ability to do drugs in a comfortable environment, by taking away their ability to do drugs and do bad things and get bailed out of jail, by taking that away, you're going to force them to their rock bottom or to their point of change a lot sooner. It's going to help them in that fact because they're going to get to that point where they cannot do this anymore. They're going to get sick and tired of being sick and tired a lot sooner if they don't have anyone giving them anything. So by stopping the enabling, you can force the recovery to speed up. Because everybody has to get to that bottom. I mean, we call it a bottom, but I call it a point of change. I call it your point of change because that's the point you get to where you know that you need to change your life. Because everybody says rock bottom, but rock bottoms are different for every single person. One person's rock bottom may have been when they were laying by a dumpster with a needle in their arm and woke up to their child, trying to wake them up. And that was their rock bottom. Another guy may have went to buy gas and went in to pay and there was no money on his card because he spent all his money on drugs the night before, and in that right there was his rock bottom and he stopped. So in other words, I can't really call that, how do you call that a rock bottom? How do you call somebody went in their car, went from their home in their car, got to the gas station and couldn't afford their gas and they were like, oh my God, I need to stop doing drugs. We can't really call that a rock bottom, but we could call that a point of change. He hit the point where he realized he needed to change his life. So that's exactly where that comes from. Jennifer says until they reach rock bottom, they will not do it. And some even reach rock bottom and they still stay there. And that's the other thing I was going to say is rock bottom. A lot of times you find out that rock bottom has a basement. You get down to where you're like, okay, I am the lowest of the low. This is the low as anybody could ever go. And they stay there or they keep pushing lower. Pretty soon they're in the worst hell you've ever seen somebody in. So that's why I say the point of change. First, you have to reach the point of change. Dana, thank you for explaining that to me. No problem. I love doing this kind of stuff, guys. Let's see. Patrice Wasp, I got complacent is what happened. That happens. Oh, here we go. Here's another comment. Took me a jail sentence to change my life around. I relapsed after many years clean. Thank God I made it through. Jail and rehab saved my life. Right on, Patrice. And that's just it. Like me, it took many times of going to jail before it worked out. It took many times of going to jail until I went to jail, and that last time I went to jail, or I shouldn't say the last time I went to jail because I went to jail in recovery after my dad passed away, but that last time I went to jail before I got clean, a lot more things happened that time than any other time I went to jail. Every other time I'd gone to jail, I ended up enabling, or, getting enabled. I had money put on my books, or I got bailed out, or I ended up being enabled in there and getting out, and I had, I was talking to other drug addicts in there. I wasn't looking for recovery options while I was in there. I wasn't doing anything to better myself while I was in there, and then when I would get out, I would just go right back to my old ways. But that last time, that 97 days was different. Everything that happened to me in that cell was different. My mom came to visit me in jail, which she had never done before, and she was in tears coming to see me in that orange jumpsuit. That was a big wake-up call. My girlfriend had been cheating on me on the outside. In fact, had moved to the town that I was sitting in jail in and was dating a guy who was just up the street from the jail. My friends went to my My friends went to my house and stole everything from me and stole from my dad and lied to my dad. Just everything. Everything that happened in that 97 days while I was in jail was just wake-up call after wake-up call after wake-up call. And when you face wake-up calls in a sober and clear and present brain, they are exactly that. They are wake-up calls. When we face those wake-up calls when we're under the influence or when we're still in that active addict mindset and we face those wake-up calls get manipulated in your brain and they turn from a wake-up call into a reason to use more. Those things like going to jail, getting your kids taken away, losing losing the trust and friendship of your family and friends. These are all things that you would think that a person would be like, oh my God, I need to change my actions. These are consequences for the things that I have been doing wrong, and I need to stop my behavior. No, addiction manipulates you. Addiction will twist the truth, and addiction turns it into another reason to get high. Oh, my kids are gone. This is so painful. I can't face this. I need to get high. Oh, my friends and family won't talk to me anymore. Well, if I don't have that kind of support in my life, then I just need to get high. Oh, I lost my job again. Well, they just don't understand me. I need to go get high. Oh, well, I went to prison. I went to jail. Well, that's because I got caught because that one guy narked me out. It's his fault. I need to get high. And we just use it as a reason to go get high again instead of a reason to stop doing the behavior that has been causing these consequences. We were never the problem, right? It's everybody else. It's the laws. It's the stupid laws in this country and the stupid government and the stupid cops and my stupid family. They're the reason that I'm in all this trouble. If they wouldn't tell on me, then I would be just fine. No, bro. Look at yourself. Look at your own actions. Take accountability in what you've been doing. You know, you're the reason this is all happening to you. You are standing in your own way. They wouldn't have pulled you over if you wouldn't have been a suspect. If you wouldn't have been doing drugs, you wouldn't have been a suspect. You know what I mean? Like, all of it. Those guys wouldn't have narked on you if you wouldn't have been screwing around with those guys. You know what I mean? Like, your family wouldn't be hating on you if you were doing right. Like, all of it was our fault. It was all on us. And you might think that owning up to that and accepting accountability for that and accepting it is such a painful process. And it is a painful process in a sense. But in a lot of senses, it's such a freeing process. And it gives you your power back. By taking credit for your own actions, by taking credit for the destruction that you caused in your life and saying, okay, that was me. That wasn't the drugs. That wasn't those other people. That was me. What you're doing is you're taking back your power. Because by saying that it was caused by other people, you are saying that they had power over your life. You're giving them your power. You're saying that wasn't my fault, that was them. Okay, you just gave them a little bit of your power. They now have, so you're admitting that they have power over your life, that they control what happens. Oh, that wasn't me, that was the drugs that I was doing. Okay, so now you just gave the drugs a little bit of power. Well, I wouldn't have done the drugs if it weren't for, you know, the abusive childhood that I faced because of my father. Okay, you just gave your father some more of your power. You're just giving out power by assigning credibility to them for these things that have happened in your life. So by owning it, by accepting it, by acknowledging it, and saying, okay, that wasn't their fault. That was me. I did that. That wasn't the drug. That was me. I did that. That wasn't my father. That was me. I did that. You're saying that you are the powerful being in your life. You are the one who had control. Yes, you did wrong things with it, but you are the one who did it. You have the power to fix it. You have the power to find recovery. All of this is within you. So accept the responsibility for your past, accept the responsibility for your future, and take back the power in this life. Whew, that felt good. That felt good to get that out. Throw me up some hearts if you guys picking up what I'm putting down. I'm on one today. Love this. Brent Hall, one of my favorite sayings is, if you hate the cops and going to jail, stop breaking the law, asshole. I love that. I love that. I love Liar Liar. That is such a good movie right there. Zach Hudson, how you doing, brother? My prayers are with you, man. Thank you for stopping by and joining us, brother. Let's see, Dana Moore, Motivational Monday, starting the week out great. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Dana, for joining me. I am so glad to be pumping you guys up on this beautiful Monday morning. I hope you guys take this enthusiasm, take this energy that we have in this live feed right now, because I'm sure you guys can feel this. You can feel this back and forth. And this is just a screen, man. Just a screen. and you can feel this energy like I can. If you can feel this, guys, give me an amen in the comments, and I want you guys to carry this energy with you. I want you to carry this all through your week with you. Take this energy and apply it in your life. Don't let this energy slip away from you, guys. Keep going. Keep pushing for another day in this world, another day in recovery. And I'm telling you guys, every single one of you is such a powerful, powerful being. I love each and every one of you guys so much. And you know, if you love this connection we have through this screen, you guys got to come up to Merrill, Wisconsin on August 1st. Come up to Merrill, Wisconsin to the Inked Horizons Tattoo Shop for the Recovery Ribbon event. And come see me in person, guys, because if you love this energy on this screen, imagine the energy in person. And then on September 19th, go up to Paw Paw, Michigan, and come see me speak up there at the Rally for Recovery. I am so excited for the future, guys. I am so pumped for all of this. Woo! We are taking recovery to the next level. Recovery is the new epidemic. It works if you work it. Woo! I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh, we got some amens and some fires, and Drew Hicks is here, my brother. Speaking of my speaking engagement, September 19th in Paw Paw, Michigan, I will be speaking right alongside that guy right there. Thank you for joining us this morning, Drew. Thank you for everything you've done for me in my life. Thank you for all the advice you give me and continue to give me, and thank you for being a year ahead of me in recovery, so I got somebody awesome to follow. Like, you're awesome, Drew. I appreciate you, brother. Brian O'Brien, come to Denver. I would love to, Brian. I would absolutely love to. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Send me some contacts. Get a hold of some people. Tell them I'm out here speaking. See if they'll get a hold of me. Mary Huffman, apparently I missed about it all, but we'll be replaying. You have to replay this. If you guys are just joining me now and you missed this video, replay this. I'm telling you, this is going to get you pumped. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm going to let you guys go. Please remember everything we talked about. Resentment. Carry this energy with you guys. Accept responsibility for your past. Own your purpose. Own your power. Own your future. I love you all. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you all tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central right here on the Point of Change for Toothless Tuesday. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay clean.